second major fire in less than 2 weeks. Lim Kit Siang apologizes for the defection of 4 defiant DAP representatives. Hi, I'm Daniel Abakri with Cuppa News. Another family went through their worst nightmare when a fire broke out at their house in Selangor on Monday night, killing 2 children and a Cambodian maid, the second such incident after the fire that killed 4 in a family in a house in Subang Jaya. Shamsul Ung Abdullah lost his 7-year-old daughter and 10-year-old granddaughter, as well as their maid, who were trapped in the fire at Taman Wangsa, Permai at around 11:20 p.m. When the incident happened, Shamsul, who was watching television upstairs, heard loud pops, but he dismissed them as just firecrackers. The inferno raged in the living room downstairs, and Shamsul jumped out of the balcony. With the help of Shamsul's wife and several neighbors, they then managed to pull his 80-year-old mother out from her bedroom near the kitchen.
他跟我讲家里火灾了，叫我们全部回来帮忙。然后我们就回来了。然后当我到的时候，我是看到bomb在救火，然后我就要进去，可是他不给我进，因为他讲他们bomb喷了水啊，地上它又有电，不给我们踏进去。
The 3 victims were pronounced dead at the Sungai Buloh hospital. The Malaysian-led mission ship Nautical Alia finally arrived in Bangladesh to deliver its food and aid supplies to the Rohingya community. The ship, carrying some 2,000 tons of goods, docked at the Chittagong port this morning after departing from Port Klang on February 4th. After taking part in a relief handover ceremony, Bangladeshi and Malaysian officials met with mission organizers aboard the ship. They were then informed that the aid will be inspected before they are distributed a week or 2 later. In the meantime, some 150 boxes containing food will be taken by a team of 25 from the ship, and the goods will be handed out to Rohingya families at 3 camps. The organizers said they are a step closer to accomplishing their mission when all the aid reached the Rohingya people who have fled Myanmar's Rakhine state to the Bangladeshi settlements. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission said it is going to study the need to vet those who will receive Datuk or Datuk Sri titles. MACC Chief Commissioner Datuk Zulkifli Ahmad, who visited government agencies in Kajang, said that they would only carry out vetting if there is a request from state or federal authorities who are conferring the awards and titles. The recent arrests of 4 grassroots leaders with such titles, together with some 60 other gangsters in the biggest organized crime swoop this year, have raised concerns of loopholes in the screening process for the conferment of state titles.
Itu merupakan tanggungjawab kita kalau kita mohon. Ada pihak yang memohon. If there is a request by any parties, we will assist them.
Do you think that MACC should be working together with the police to come up with a procedure to vet recipients or based on permohonan?
Kita akan kaji tentang perkara tersebut. We will study whether there is a need or not. Thank you.
After pulling out of the race for the Football Association of Malaysia's top post, Youth and Sports Minister Khairi Jamaluddin gave his take on the 2 candidates still standing.
Saya selalu mempunyai pendirian yang konsisten. Ya. Saya kata lihat kepada individu dan jangan lihat kepada latar belakangnya. Ya, ada yang tanya saya berkenaan dengan penglibatan orang politik, penglibatan kerabat diraja dalam badan sukan. Tapi jawapan saya selalu tengok, look at the individual. Ya. Don't look at whether or not they're royalty or they're politician.
He kept his word by withdrawing from the FAM election after Johor Crown Prince Tunku Ismail Sultan Ibrahim confirmed his nomination for the president post against former Kelantan Football Association President Tan Sri Anwar Musa. Meanwhile, Red Shirts leader Datuk Sri Jamal Muhammad Yunus staged another protest at the Selangor State Secretariat building this morning, this time with hearses and coffins. Like in previous protests, he was not allowed to enter the building. Dressed like a gravedigger, he demanded Selangor Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Azmin Ali to explain the alleged misappropriation of Yayasan Warisan Anak Selangor funds. He claimed that assemblymen and constituency coordinators in places like Kepong, Wangsa Maju, Lembah Pantai and Gombak had misused funds allocated for the senior citizens friendly scheme under the foundation. For the record, Jamal remains an UMNO member as the Selangor UMNO yesterday rejected his resignation from the party. In the wake of the resignation of 4 DAP Malacca representatives, DAP advisor Lim Kit Siang today apologized to the people of Malacca.
But I apologize to the people of Malacca for a defection of 1 MP and three assemblymen.
Okay. But will you talk to the 4 and then to ask them to reconsider their resignation?
They have been very clear. They have stated their position, and I don't think there's. We move on. Let's move on.
Kota Malacca MP Sim Tong Him, Duyong Assemblyman Goh Leong San, Bachang Assemblyman Lim Jak Wong, and Kasidang Assemblyman Chin Chun Seong dropped a bombshell by quitting the party on Sunday. In other news, a tourist boat came to the rescue of 9 local fishermen at sea after their catamaran's engine failed some 11 nautical miles from Pulau Suluk in Sabah waters yesterday. The tourist boat operator transferred the fishermen to the boat while the crew stayed back to try and repair the catamaran. The Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency then deployed a boat to pick up the crew who failed to get the catamaran back working. Still in Sabah, the last of 4 Chinese tourists who survived the boat tragedy on January 28th left for home yesterday. Chinese Consul General in Kota Kinabalu, Chen Peijie, said the search effort is still ongoing to locate 4 other tourists who are still missing. During the incident, a catamaran carrying 31 people on board, including 28 China tourists and 3 crew members, sank an hour after departing the Tanjung Aru jetty in Kota Kinabalu. 3 of them died and their bodies were found in the round-the-clock operation. The owner and skipper of the catamaran have been charged in court with causing death by negligence. In Hubei Province's Wuhan City, China, a man weighing about 220 kilos slipped in the street, and it was a Herculean task for passers-by to lift him. After several attempts in 2 hours, they eventually lifted him after a policeman got him to roll onto a stretcher and more than 10 people levered him up. The 27-year-old man, who fell after his return from a visit to the hospital, has been obese since he was a child. 2 residents of the Seri-era apartment in Shah Alam, Selangor have been brought in by Atomic Energy Licensing Board officials for tests due to concerns that they could have been exposed to radiation from stolen radioactive containers dumped there last week. One of the residents, Kalsum Ahmad, said she had been feeling dizzy and itchy for the last couple of days.
Saya tanya tapi makcik sekarang ni makcik rasa macam gatal-gatal muka, pening, macam itulah rasa macam nak dalamnya rasa panas, dalam badannya rasa panas.
So apa nasihat yang
pergi hospital lah, pergi cek.
Sama-sama dengan perawat?
Sama pegawai akan pergi ambil darah, sampel darah kan. Itulah.
Tens of millions of Indonesians head to the polls on Wednesday in local elections. In Jakarta, the incumbent, the city's first ethnic Chinese and Christian governor, is fighting to cling on to his job as he stands trial for blasphemy. Dina Murad reports.
On February 15, Jakarta will go to the polls to decide who will govern this metropolis of more than 10 million residents. This gubernatorial election is particularly interesting to observe because of the pool of candidates. One is the son of a former president, the second a former minister, and the man to watch, incumbent Basuki Cahayapurnama, who is currently on trial for blasphemy. At the moment, Ahok has the implicit support of President Jokowi and is leading in the polls. Although he has a good track record of managing Indonesia's largest city, Ahok's comments, which were published in an edited viral video, has triggered the anger of many Muslims.
Penistaan agama itu memang harus ditindaklanjuti. Karena kan kita menghargai toleransi juga kan terhadap orang lain. Pak Ahok itu tanggung jawab juga sih sama apa yang diucapkan sama dia juga gitu. Jadi ya bagus juga lah Pak Ahok.
Secara umum popularitasnya tinggi, tingkat kepuasannya tinggi. Cuman itu tadi, tingkat kepuasan yang tinggi dengan tingkat popularitas yang tinggi dari petahana itu tidak dibarengi dengan keinginan masyarakat untuk mendukung dia untuk menjadi gubernur kembali.
The other candidates are Agus Harimurti Yudhoyono, who is the son of former Indonesian President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono, and finally Anies Baswedan, who is former Education and Culture Minister. With Muslim voters split between Agus and Anies, odds are high that Ahok will win on this polling day. However, if he fails to get a 50% majority, he will have to face another election where there will be a straight fight. Chances are, if it comes to that, Ahok will face an even bigger challenge as the Islamist votes will no longer be split. For now, we'll wait and see. This is Dina Murad reporting for Star TV.
In Taiwan, the death toll of a tour bus crash rose to 33 this morning. The bus with 44 people on board crashed in Taipei on Monday night after a visit to a cherry blossom farm in Taichung. The crash, the most serious road accident in Taiwan in 30 years, was possibly caused by speeding or fatigue on the part of the driver. What can you do on a scorching hot day if you had to stay outside? Take a clue from this policeman. A video of an Australian policeman frying an egg on his car bonnet went viral after it was posted online on Friday with about 3 million views. According to the temperature recorded in Birdsville by the Bureau of Meteorology, it had not dipped below 41 degrees Celsius since January 26th. Birdsville usually records a February max of 38 degrees Celsius. Onto the runway of New York's Fashion Week, Madeline Stewart, a model with Down syndrome, was the toast of the glamorous event as she launched her own fashion label. The Australian-born model challenged fashion industry norms with her first catwalk appearance in 2015 and changed perceptions about people with Down syndrome.
She has the final say for everything. She knows what she wants. I mean, she has Down syndrome and she has an intellectual disability, but she does really know what she wants in the end.
Her new label, called 21 Reasons Why by Madeline Stewart, featured casual looks with a collection of sporty leggings, crop tops and skirts. That's all from the Cuppa News team. Happy Valentine's Day.